So greetings of the day. So today we will start with the discussion on the next part of the Tamra Bhasma, that is the Somanati Tamra Bhasma. We'll be having various ranges of Bhasmas in a single chapter. We have already discussed many times about this particular issue, wherein we spoke about the method of preparations of various Bhasmas. As such, when you go into the chapters of Tamra alone from the various textbooks, you have received at least nearly more than 60 types of methods of preparations of Tamra Bhasma. So it is very difficult to say like this particular Tamra Bhasma is having this clinical efficacy and so it is having a very good clinical property. The clinical property definitely varies on the method of preparation which you people have prepared. You have prepared the Tamra Bhasma based on Rasaratna Samuchaya and expect the Falashruti of Rasataringini, then that could be wrong. Instead, you prepare the Bhasma in a particular way and expect the same clinical significance in the form of Gunakarma which has been explained in the textbook, then that is a proper way. That could be more logical. And based on this concept, we have already given our previous discussions regarding the methods of how the Tamra Bhasma is being prepared and how it can be having its small variations in the clinical implications. Of course, Ayurveda believes very strongly about the Samskaram Gunantaradhanam. You have the various ways of a method of preparations. And various ways of method of preparations do definitely have their impact on the therapeutic properties of that particular drug. Many times I said you this is very true, even though in case if it is a Shodhana or Marana, in fact the clinical indications vary on the procedure of whatever you prolong with it. I have given many times the examples about the Gugulu or Shilajatu or either of the drugs. Say for example, I want to prepare Gugulu Shodhana. In case if it is done Shodhana with Dashamula, that Gugulu is more active as a Shotahara. In case if I do Gugulu Shodhana with Trifala, then that Gugulu is more Sroto Sramsana. In case if I do Gugulu Shodhana with Kshira, then it becomes Rasayana in property. And in case the Gugulu Shodhana is being performed with Gomutra, then that Gugulu is more Lekhaniya. The basic qualities of Gugulu is pertaining, no doubt in that. But Samskaram Gunantaradhanam is a concept what Ayurveda believes very strongly. So on that grounds what happens? You have a clinical variation based on the methods you have adopted. Similarly, there are various methods of doing Marana as well. Say for example, when you are preparing Abraka Bhasma, if you do it with Kasamardha Swarasa as a Marana media, then the clinical significance is more in Kasashwasa. In case if I do Eranda Patra method of Abraka Bhasma Nirmana, then it is more Vata Vyadhi Hara. So Abraka Bhasma therapeutically it is more active in Vata Vyadhi as well as in Pranava Shrotas disorders. But still, it is therapeutically active if you go for Shodhana and Marana accordingly. So this is very true in case if you are going through either of the methods of Shodhana and Marana. Based on that grounds, we will be going into the next method of the preparation of the Tamra Bhasma as per the textbook Rasaratna Samuchaya, and the same chapter number 5 and shloka number 64 to 66, wherein he explains about the Somanathiya Tamra Bhasma, where he explains about the principles of the Somanathiya Tamra Bhasma, and he is explaining you in this method as one of the best method of making the Tamra Bhasma. The ingredients of the method of preparation of the Somanathiya Tamra Bhasma could be Shulba Tulena Sutena Balena Tat Samena Cha Tad Ardhamshe Sheshena Thalena Shilaya Cha Tadardhaya Vidhaya Kajjali Shlakshnam Binna Kajjala Sannibham Yantradhyaya Vinirdishta Garbha Yantrodharantare Kajjalim Tamra Patrani Paryayena Vinikshipet Prapachet Yama Paryantam Swangashitam Vichurnayet. So this is a method what it has been explained by Rasaratna Samuchaya from shloka number 64 to 66, where he explains like Shulba, that is the Tamra, should be taken of one part, Parada one part and Gandhaka one part. all the 3 drugs with 1 part each, and then half part of Haratala and 1/4 part of Manashila to be taken. And added to that, once you start taking the ingredients, the recommended dose or the method of the preparation as explained in the Rasaratna Samuchaya is Parada, Gandhaka and Tamra are being mixed in the form of Kajali, that is Tamra Churna. To that you need to add up with the Haratala and Manashila Shodhita after Shodhana. Then you can mix this Kajali in the Bhanda Yantra or some big sized Shravas and do Sandhibandhana, and in Paka is done in Garbhayantra method as explained in Yantra Dhyaya, and Puta is being given so that you have Yama Paryantam. The temperature is given for 3 hours, and by which he claims like the content is being converted into Tamra Basma. Then it becomes Tamra Basma once it has come to the room temperature. So this is a method or the principle what is being explained in the textbook. The better way of understanding this particular shloka could be a analytical view wherein we understand that the Tamra should be taken, make it into fine particles. After Shodhana, you can hammer it. It is very brittle. You take the Kantakavedi Patra, you heat it and you dip it into Taila, Takra, Gomutra, Ranala and Kulatta. And after that particular method of doing the Samanya Shodhana, you need to do the Vishesha Shodhana. Vishesha Shodhana, either of the methods can be adopted. And specifically one of the method which has been given is Nimbambu Patuliptani Tapitani Ashtavarikam. So that method has been adopted wherein you heat the Tamrapatra being applied with the Saindhava and lemon over it, and it has been quenched into the Nirgundi Swarasa Nimajjanat. So this method is being adopted, and once you repeat this totally, you have many of the quenching techniques, heating the metallic plates into red hot and quenching it into various liquid medias. By doing this technique, what happens? It becomes very brittle. You get it almost a sort of a powder like content. So this particular powder like content is to be mixed up with the other ingredients, make it in the form of a kajali and incinerate it, and incineration process has been done. So what I ask you to do is, to have a better clinical effectiveness, you need to initially mix up Parada with that of Tamra, make it in the form of a very beautiful amalgamation by which the Tamra particles will be further disintegrated. You find them as a fine powder now, no doubt. Once you pulverize the Tamrapatra after Shodhana, you mix it with Parada and further triturate it. By further triturating, it happens like it becomes a very beautiful amalgamation. By becoming amalgamation, the fineness of the Tamra is very much achieved. It is very much easy and very much easily achieved there. So once you have achieved this state of Tamra, to that you need to add Gandhaka later, by which again it turns into a form of a powder, that is in the form of a Kajali. And to this Kajali you need to add a 50% of this content, means 1% of 100% of Tamra, 100% of 100 parts of Parada, 100 parts of Gandhaka, in the sense 50 parts of Haratala is to be added and 25 parts of Manashila is to be added after Shodhana. And once you add this particular thing and you triturate well, it becomes a sort of a Kajali. So the whole of the Kajali is being placed in a thin layer. Don't just heap it off, make it a sort of a thin layer and place it inside the Sharava Samputa and keep it in Garbhayantra. And you incinerate. You have various references for the preparation of the Somanathiya Tamra Basma as per various textbooks. Like Rasaprakasha Sudhakara asks you to do the Sharava Samputa and give Gajaputa, whereas Yogaratnakara asks you to keep it in a bottle and do it as a Kupi Pakva Rasayana, whereas here Rasaratna Samuchaya is asking you to do it in the form of a Valukayantra or the Garbhayantra method. There are other textbooks where they claim only about the Valukayantra, like a Garbhayantra method itself, instead of beneath the earth, they ask you to keep it within the Valukayantra and incinerate it in a Valukayantra. So you have various techniques of preparation of the Somanathiya Tamra Basma. The temperature to be given, he explains you to do only Yama Paryantam. He asks you to give the temperature only for Yama Paryantam. Then after that, you are supposed to remove it once it becomes a Swanga Shita, and then you triturate it, make it into a fine powder, and that you can definitely give it to your patient. That can be given to your patient. So by giving this Somanathiya Tamrabhasma, what happens? You have the clinical efficacy very, very, very potent. One thing. And the second thing what you will have is you will have a wonderful Tivra Guna Yukta Tamra. It is more and more deeper in penetration, one thing. And second thing is it is very quick in action and it becomes more potent than the other Tamrabhasmas. It becomes more potent than the Tamrabhasmas just because of the reason it has been potensified not alone with Parada and Gandhaka, it has been potensified along with Haratala and Manashila as well. So again we'll come back to the same statement what we have discussed in the early part of the discussion. Like you have the Samskaram Gunantaradhanam. Samskaram Gunantaradhanam, where you have triturated Tamra. Tamra Gunas we are trying to analyze the clinical properties or the Gunas of Tamra. Almost from the past 3 sessions we are doing the same thing. Added to that, you know mercury. Mercury is one of the media where we have added, which further disintegrates the metallic components into the finest possible way. It makes it more and more finer. Parada is one such a drug which is having Sukshma Srotogami property. By this property it makes it more and more finer because its basic quality is to corrode the tissue, it's corrode the metallic plates, and it is going to make it more finer and finer. One thing. And the second method what we can do is there are guna karmas of Parada which has been explained in the textbook. Which are being explained in the textbook, which are tremendous and there are innumerable. It is a Sarva Vyadihara, it is so many things which are being explained. So you can refer from the textbook and all those essential qualities of Parada are being inbuilt into the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma because that Parada is a component of Somanathiya Tamrabhasma. And in case if you can afford to prepare a Ashtasamskaras of Parada and you can use that particular Parada, it is still tremendous to have the clinical efficacy. The deeper the penetration of the mercury and the components of it, and they are going to have lots of benefits. And this particular Parada is being explained in the textbook. You can go through the Gunakarma. Those Gunakarma are being also achieved in the Tamra in the end product. Added to that, we will try to analyze what are the other guna karmas or the benefits of Gandhaka which we have from the textbook. And wherein the Rasaratna Samuchaya, he explains you about the guna karmas of Gandhak. He explains the guna karmas of Gandhaka, and those guna karmas are also being attributed to the final product. Just because of the reason, the same concept which I told you already, that is Samskaram Gunantaradhanam. You have the Samskara Gunantaradhana, Puta Samskara, Agni Sanikarsha Samskara you are doing. So there is the attribution of the qualities of the substances which you have mixed along with it. So the other component other than the Parada is the Gandhaka. So when we go to the chapter number 3 in Rasaratna Samuchaya, shloka number 17 and 18, he explains you the guna of Gandhaka. Wherein he explains why I am reading out this guna karma of Gandhaka is these gunas are also being attributed to the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma just because of the reason Gandhak is also essential component of Somanathiya Tamrabhasma. So the guna karma of Gandhaka is Gandhashma Ati Rasayanaha Su Maduraha Pake Katu Ushne Mataha. So he is explaining that it is Ati Rasayana, it is one of the best Rasayana. By therapeutic property, it is a Madura and it is a Katupaka and it is Ushnavirya. Clinically, it is benefited like it is advantage in giving in Kandu, Kushta, Visarpa, Dadru, Dalano, Deepta Analaha, Pachanaha. So it is also useful in various skin presentations, like it is given in Kandu, Kushta, Visarpa, Dadru and all these conditions. It is also very much benefited in various clinical conditions where you have hypo and hyperpigmentations in the skin or Kushta-like presentations. It is going to increase the Jhataragni, Deeptanalaha. Pachanam, it is helpful in doing the Pachana. Pachana could be understood as the digestion or carminative properties of the food or the medicine, or it could be even the Ama Pachana. Ama Pachana also could be understood here. because the next word which he uses is amon mochana shoshanoho. So that is it is going to reduce the ama, it is going to digest the ama, and it is going to dry up the ama. Shoshana, it is totally going to ward off the ama. This is the reason why Gandhaka is being clinically indicated in various conditions of the Jhataragni Paka or Dhatwagni or Bhutagni conditions in clinical side. This is the reason why many of the GIT disturbances are being very well addressed with Gandhaka. Don't take Gandhaka as something like antihistamine or something like can be given as anti-helminthic and all. No. Definitely. Other than the skin, it is having lots and lots of benefits which we can take into the clinical perspective. Also, it is being explained as a Vishahara, so it is antitoxic in nature. Sutendra Virya Prado. This is a very important phenomenon what you have with Gandhaka. So, Sutendra is nothing but Parada. So, this has been observed like Gandha can give lots of strength and support to the mercury, which is an ingredient of Somanati Tamrabhasma. So whenever you add Parada, Gandhaka is being added because it is going to make the Parada as a Virya Prada. It is going to increase the potency of mercury. It is going to increase the potency of mercury. So on that grounds, we are supposed to give the mercurial preparations added with some amount of Gandhaka. People ask me, why do you go for so much of Gandhaka preparations? Why do you go for Potali Nirmanas? This is the reason. This is the reason why we go for various Gandhaka Prayogas or the practicals involved with the Gandhaka, wherein we have mercury as an ingredient, because it's going to potensify or signify the qualities of mercury. Added to that, he explains about the Gauri Pushpa Bhavasthatha Krumihara Satyatmakaha Sutajit. So this is one such a drug which is being derived or substantiated from the Gauri Pushpa. Gauri Pushpa in the sense it is from the ovum, or what we can take it as the menstrual fluid of that of Gauri, goddess Gauri. So on that ground, so this is one such drug which is excellent in clinical properties. Wherever you have the problems with the discharges like the menstrual cycle, altered menstrual cycles, any of these conditions we are supposed to prescribe with the Gandhaka preparations. Anything of the Rajo doshas can be rectified by administering, or especially wherever you have the Kshaya Lakshanas or Kshinata in the Rajas, we can definitely prescribe those patients with the Gauri Pushpa. Gauri Pushpa is nothing but sulfur or Gandhaka. Also, it is having the property as a Krumihara, which can be taken as might be it is antiviral, antibacterial, or antimicrobial, either anti-elementhic, many conditions where we take it as a Kruminashana. And also it is definitely useful for making the bandhana of the Parada. It is definitely going to help you, the Parada, to achieve its goals or to enhance the properties of Parada. And added to that, it has been claimed like the praise, like God, the King Bali had taken it. The King Bali has taken it, and added to that, it is giving the bala to an individual. Bala Vruddhi. It is going to increase the Bala Vruddhi to an individual. So these are various Falashrutis. There are much details which we'll be discussing in detail when we deal with the chapter of Gandhaka. So this is in brief about what Rasaratna Samuchaya has claimed about the Gandhaka, and these clinical properties are also being achieved, or these are also being observed whenever you do the procedures wherever you have Gandhaka, including Marana. So these properties are to be understood in the Somanadhya Tamrabhasma as well, because these properties are being attributed to the copper. These are being attributed to the copper. The next thing which we need to understand is about the Haratala and Manashila. So when you go into the chapter of Rasaratna Samuchaya, third chapter, 73 shloka, wherein he explains about the Tala Guna, Haratala Guna, wherein he explains Haratala is excellent in case of Shleshma, Rakta, Visha, Vata, Bhuta, Anutkevalam, Cha Kaluhu, Pushpa Rutstriya, Snigdham Ushnam Katukam Cha, Deepanam Kushtahari, Haritalam Muchyate. So wherein he explains about it is also been clinically indicated in all Shleshma Prakopa-like conditions. It is indicated in Rakta Vikaras, and this is the reason why we give this Haratala in various infective pathologies, infection in the hemopoietic system. Wherever you have the transmission of the disease through the hemopoietics, like it could be metastasis, it could be a spread of infection, like it could be any of the virus which has been spreading, any of the bacteria, anything, any of the things which are being spreading through the blood, it can be given. Added to that visha, the toxins, anything which is irritating to to an individual, anything which is disturbing a person, it could be a pollutant, it could be a sort of a poison, it could be anything, is considered as visha in Ayurveda. Also in Vata Vyadhis, various Vata Vyadhis also this has been administered, and added to that it is going to remove the pushpa of the Stri. It has been explained as Pushparatha Sriya. So wherein he explains, does this mean that you are not supposed to prescribe this Haratala preparations to the female or to the person who is still active in respect to the menstrual cycles, or who is still a Pushpavati? No, it's not like that. Instead, you are supposed to administer the Haratala preparations to such a female as well, wherein you have the clinical conditions with Vikruta Pushpa. As you see in case of PCODs, you can see in many of the conditions like there are the pathologies of the Pushpa or the ovum. Ovum is being altered, ovum is being corrupted, ovum is being doing lots of problem to an individual. And added to that, the person is definitely being addressed. The person is definitely being addressed for the situations like the hormonal disturbances which are being seen in PCOD or fibroid or anything, wherein the significance is only because of the ovum, or the hormonal imbalance is primarily because observed in the ovum or reflected in the ovum, or it is because of the ovum. So in anything, all these things are being considered as a pushpa, and we are supposed to consider the preparations like Haratala to be given there, wherein the Vikruta Pushpa will be removed. The Vikruta Pushpa will be removed. These are the clinical indications wherein still we can definitely give. The Vikruta Rupa of the Pushpa can be removed. The Vikruta Rupa of the Pushpa can be given. It can be removed by giving such Haratala preparations. So on that grounds, we are supposed to prescribe to the person, to an individual with any of those things. And added to that, it is also been indicated as it is said as it is a Snigdha, Ushna and Katuka. This is again a rare phenomenon. A Snigdha substance which is Ushna. A Snigdha substance which is Ushna. This is also a phenomenon where we need in many clinical properties, where you need a Snigdhatva to be inbuilt in an individual, and also you need Ushnata. And added to that, it is a Katukam, Deepanam. It is going to increase the gastric fire or the Jhataragni. It is also benefited in Kushta. It is definitely useful in Kushta, and these are the various clinical properties. These are the various clinical properties of the Haratala. So all these properties are also being achieved or also been seen in Somanadya Tamrabhasma, just because of the reason they are being processed along with the Haratala. The next thing is the Manashila, which has been added to the 1/4 of the quantity. And when you want to read with the Falashruti or the Guna of the Manashila from the Rasaratna Samuchaya 3rd chapter, and the shloka number is 64, where he tells about the Manashila Sarva Rasayana Agram Tiktam Katushnam Kafavataham Kafavataham Stri Satvatmika Bhutha Visha Agnimandya Kandu Atikasa Kshaya Harinicha. So there are various clinical properties wherein we are using with that of the Manashila as well. Whenever you speak about the Manashila, which is also need to be prescribed as one of the Marana media in Somanati Tamrabhasma, the understanding of the Manashila is also very important, where he explains about as the Sarva Rasayana Agra. It is considered as one of the best Rasayana. It is considered as one of the best Rasayana. It is Agra Rasayana. It is Agra Rasayana. And added to that, you are supposed to, you are definitely supposed to prescribe to the person with the Manashila because of the reasons like you have the clinical indications as Kapha Vata. Specifically, it removes the Kapha and Vata, it controls the Kapha and Vata, and also it is going to increase the Sattva of an individual. It is also beneficial for the Bhuta, Visha and Agnimandya. It is also useful in Kandu, Atikasa, Kshaya, and all these conditions are being removed or being addressed well by administering Manashila. So these are all also the properties which we need to consider whenever we want to go with any of such preparations with the Somanadiya Tamrabhasma. So these are few of the properties as we speak about. You need to enumerate or enlist all these properties in one below the other and try to analyze them, like where all it is been coinciding, and accidentally you will be coming to know there are lots of properties which are there in Tamra are also been there in Gandhaka, they are also been there in Haratala and also in Manashila. So by this unique combination, it happens like there is a enhancement of the properties which are there in the Tamra. As you see, even Tamra is Kushtahara, and even all these three drugs are being said as Kushtahara. Similarly, that Tamra is also very effectively used in Kapha Vata, Tridosha Pradhana, but Vata and Kapha Pradhana, and even these drugs are Vata Kapha Pradhana Hara, or used in the disorders wherever you have the pathogenesis with Kapha and Vata. So either of these conditions are being enhanced which are being observed in the Tamra, and added to that you have few of the properties which are going to support each other or which are going to make it more and more beneficial. As you see, Tamra is also Rasayana in nature, whereas even Haratala, Manashila, Gandhaka, all these are also Rasayana in property. Manashila is Ati Rasayana. One more property you have with Haratala is it is Ojo Vardhaka. So it is definitely going to increase the ojos of an individual. So all these properties mix up together and make a unique combination called as the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma. Make it as a Somanathiya Tamrabhasma. And in case if we can prepare this particular Somanathiya Tamrabhasma as explained in the textbook of Rasaratna Samuchaya or either of the classical references, then you have that particular clinical efficacy. Of how this Somanathiya Tamrabhasma can be used and how it can be prepared in various clinical setups. So the only differences what you have with that of the ordinary Tamrabhasma and the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma is this is more Ugra because it has been processed with Ugra Dravyas like Haratala, Manashila and all. Parad Gandhak, there are many Tamra preparations where you have Parad and Gandhak as a Maran media. You have many such preparations where you have small concentrations of other drugs as well. Like there are certain references where you add Navasadara, there are certain references where you add only Gandhaka, there are certain, for Tamra I am speaking. There are various methods of doing Tamrabhasma. But this is unique just because of the reason you have added the Tivra Dravyas. The Tivra Dravyas, as you see that of Haratala and Manashila. And whenever you add these drugs like Haratala and Manashila, they are going to really potensify your drug. They are going to make it more sharp enough. They are going to handle the three doshas in a very beautiful way. Even though you have a severe vitiation of the doshas, even though you have a particular dosha, single dosha, which is being deep rooted or affecting to a most, or there are all the three doshas making the condition more worst. So in all these conditions also this can definitely be used in case if you have added Haratala and Manashila. Haratala and Manashila, which can really potensify the substances in a one of the best way. But once you make it more and more Tivra, the dosage also can be reduced. When you speak about the therapeutic property, you can reduce even the dosage of the Tamrabhasma to the minimum. Say for example, the regular way of preparing Tamrabhasma, in case if you are giving to your patient with half to 1 rati, you can give this to even 1 rati to have the clinical efficacy. The textbook as such, especially when we speak about the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma, he explains us to give the dosage as a 3 valla, that is 3 rattis. The dosage is 3 rattis here. But you can achieve the clinical properties even quite smaller doses as well when we administer in the clinical protocols. I use the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma a lot in my clinical practice. I use them in kgs in 1 year. I use them in cages. Lots and lots of Somanathiya Tamrabhasma is being used. Only thing is, in case if it is Pitta Prakopaja, then as I claimed previously, make it softer. How do you make this softer? One thing, you can mix up some milder drugs like that of Avipatikar Godanti, or the best way could be something like adding up with the Pravala. You can mix up small amount of Pravala Pishti or Mukta Pishti, mix both of them together and administer it to the patient. Then it is very effective. This is very effective. Then it becomes very potent. Then it becomes very potent and active. We are worried is only in excess of Pitta in Prakriti or the Vikruti state of an individual, because the drugs are Tivra. Tamra is Tivra, Haratala is Tivra, and Manashila is Tivra. So this is what we would like to make an understanding whenever we speak about the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma. The next part could be, we will be discussing about the Falashruti or the clinical or the therapeutic properties of the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma, and which could be more fascinating to know the properties of Somanathiya Tamrabhasma, and they are very quick acting. They are very quick acting. Say for example, you take a set of patients where you have prepared Tamrabhasma and you have given it to them, might be it's around some 10 or 20 or 30 a group of patients. To another set of patients, they give them with the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma, you will definitely see that the Somanathiya Tamrabhasma category or the group of people will have a tremendous response, and quick response. Will have the quick response. This is an advantage of going with Somanathiya Tamrabhasma.